Hello, this is Curtis Bauer. I'm here to talk to you about coachability, especially when it involves child custody cases or anything to deal with family law reform. So, this is not legal advice, should not be construed as legal advice. Topics discussed are of a legal nature and or political nature. If you feel that you need legal advice, you should contact a licensed attorney in the jurisdiction where you have the issue requiring the legal advice and or services. Now we got the disclaimer out of the way. Let's talk about what it is to be coachable. So, we're really looking at some stuff as far as like how receptive you are as someone who's going through a child custody situation, or if you're willing to take accountability for any of your shortfalls. How self-aware are you? How introspective are you? Are you willing to grow in a meaningful way, in a way to better yourself, demonstrate that you're humble? Are you an active listener? Do you demonstrate empathy or an understanding? Do you ask clarifying questions, meaningful questions, especially ones that kind of provoke thought? Shows that you're really giving it weight, giving what the other person is saying to you adequate weight. And then, are you, planning action? Are you doing things that, are engaging, demonstrating that you're willing to go the extra mile to ensure that you're hearing and understanding what the other person is saying, what the other parent is asking of you? Now, this doesn't apply to just men. It applies to women too. The number one killer of a person's case is their inability to be coachable. They're too rigid. They're too inflexible. It's really a frustrating moment in time. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in these court cases where they're already acrimonious. You're already at each other's throats. You're ready to have a knockdown drag out. There's all these hurt feelings of betrayal. It happens. And what makes it even worse, you have kids together. So, what I find in custody cases are the ones that have the hardest time are the ones that aren't flexible at all. They're too doggone rigid. They don't actively utilize the advice that they're given, whether that be from an advocate, communication coach, your attorney. Wow, it's a big deal. Always reacting, responding to the other parent. Sometimes, you know what? Have you ever considered that person is just trying to get you to react? There's a lot of hurt feelings. I found early on, when I stopped reacting, all of a sudden, my indifference, my lack of care for what my former spouse thought, it was gone. I just didn't care. I didn't put any stock into her beliefs or her feelings as far as it was when it came to attacking me. And as soon as I let that go, it didn't take long. She wasn't engaging me anymore. The last thing I would say is meeting unreasonableness with the same. You're dealing with an unreasonable person making unreasonable demands on you. Why would you want to react in an unreasonable way, an unreasonable manner? It doesn't help. It's contrary to what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to bring resolution to a problem. You're not trying to make it worse. I mean, it's the proverbial, let's pour fuel on this fire, see what happens. Oof. Man, oh man, that's a recipe for disaster. So, the best way to handle child custody situations is be reasonable, even when the other side isn't. So, this doesn't just apply to court and judges and a legal argument. This also applies to legislators where you're trying to change the law. You know how many fathers get themselves in a very, very odd situation where, oh wait, what am I going to do? I've just exposed all of these angry emotions and I've kind of turned everyone off to my cause. It's really frustrating. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show your vulnerable feelings. It's okay to show those vulnerable emotions. Why wouldn't you want to? No one can hurt you if you tell them the truth. No one can hurt you if you're just telling them how it made you feel, what you felt in that moment, how helpless you felt, how it broke your heart that you couldn't see your kids every single day. That is what we all feel. Why wouldn't you want to show that? It's a level of honesty, integrity. It's a level of just being brutally honest with yourself as well as the others around you to push forward. This idea of, hey, I'm willing to meet you halfway. Court, the legislature, any form of government, people run it, and people are human. Those humans, they have emotions and feelings just like you and me. It's hard not to be biased. They have to work really hard to work through their biases. Some people are more forgiving than others. You don't get to pick that lot all the time. So you have to approach the situation in a very, very pragmatic and realistic way. You have to treat everyone really well. Always take the moral and strategic high ground. Don't go down into the mud and the wallows. It's not worth it. Have a great night.